Now, have the thought of having a second passport ever crossed your mind? Have you ever given it a thought and all the opportunities of a lifetime that comes with it? Having a second citizenship status that gives you more opportunities than you've ever had or even imagined, even if you don't want to relocate abroad, because I understand that it's not everybody that wants to relocate. Some people still prefer to stay in their home countries. Now, the good thing is you don't necessarily have to relocate and live in those countries to be able to achieve that. There are different options that you can still explore and get the same results, right? It comes at a cost though, no matter how you want to see it, but there are options that are cheaper than the others. So we'll be exploring all of them in today's video. So please stick around with me while we get right into it. Number one on our list is residency-based citizenship, where you have to move to that country to live and work there, right? So after you have lived there for a required number of time, you will now be qualified to apply for citizenship of that country, right? Some countries like Canada, if you go there as a PR, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years in the country. So different countries have their own rules and requirements when it comes to residing, working and living in that country. And obviously, going to work in those countries, you have to pay your tax. So you're working and contributing to the economy of that country. You're investing in that country as well. But you have to give it some time, right? You have to have lived there for a period of time to be qualified to apply for citizenship of that country. And if you're not going to work there, you can as well go to study. People also relocate to different countries on a study visa, even though some people still feel like it's not a good option. So for me, I think this happens to be the cheapest of all the options, even though you still have to spend money to relocate to those countries, right? Live there, work, contribute, pay your tax and everything. Yes, there are also people who move to study. So this set of people, you have to consider the school fees that they have paid. It is more expensive than moving on a work visa, okay? They are going to study, and for some, their visas are restricted. There's a limit to the amount of time they can work. For the UK, for instance, the limit to the amount of time students can work, they work for only 20 hours a week, right? This is why some people think it is not a good idea. They still prefer to take the 20 million naira that I asked earlier in the video. They still prefer to take that and remain in their home country instead of taking that money or even more money to go to another country to study and then switch to a work visa and live for some time before you can apply for citizenship, right? Those kind of people just feel it is not a good idea. They would rather stay back in their home countries with their 20 million naira and just be fine. Now, come to think of it, how much is 20 million naira now? As at today that I'm making this video, if you look at the LemFi app with the rate of today, 20 million naira is not even up to 10,000 pounds, guys. So can you imagine that? So talking about LemFi now, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's an app that you can use to send money to Africa at zero cost. So LemFi allows residents of the UK and Canada to send money to Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Benin, Tanzania, Uganda and Rwanda at zero fees. And guys, they have the best rates you can find in the market, so you'd always get your complete value for money. I've been using LemFi for a while now, and I can say that it is very easy to use, it's free, it's secured, and then guys, the recipients will receive the money instantly, okay? If you've been using LemFi, kindly let us know in the comment section, okay? So guys, you need to start using LemFi if you haven't already. And to get started, you can download the app with my referral link in the description box to get 15% cash back on your first transactions above £100, capped at £50. Alternatively, you can download the app directly from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and enter my code Tochi to benefit from this offer. So please hurry now and download the LemFi app and begin to send money to your loved ones for free. And don't forget to use my code Tochi. Now back to the video. Now, while you're still contemplating whether to take 20 million naira and remain in your home country or travel abroad, somebody acquired citizenship of another country with a whooping sum of $150,000. Guys, you won't believe that. When I heard that, I was like, what? That's a lot of money. That's over £1 billion naira, right? So if you hear that, if you're in this category of people saying I would rather take 20 million naira and not go and and invest it in another country and pay school fees and waste it and all of that. I'm sure if you hear this, I don't know what you're going to say about it. But yeah, that's another way of getting a second passport, by buying citizenship outrightly. There are countries that offer that, okay? You buy it outrightly by way of investment. There are countries that have that option. So yeah, Tayo Aina bought citizenship of St. Ives for $150,000, guys. And I'm sure that some of you obviously agree with it and some don't, because people would always have different opinions to things. A lot of people agreed with it, some didn't think it's a good idea. Even some said he was downplaying Nigeria, okay, it's not something to be excited about and all of that. But I personally do not think so, right? I actually think it's a good idea, but it's different strokes for different folks, right? Yeah, so considering what he does, okay, he travels a lot, and he also stated that with his green passport, he usually encounters difficulties traveling. And boy, applying for visas is really not easy. I've applied for some myself, and I can tell you for a fact that applying for visas, okay, is really difficult. The paperwork involved, the money, the time, the effort, and then the uncertainty that comes with it. Your heart is always skipping. You don't know that it's going to be denied or approved, and if it's denied, all the money you spent applying for it is gone. Nobody's going to give it back to you, right? And for somebody who travels a lot, so you can imagine all he had to go through always. And he also stated the difficulties he faces with his green passport and all of that. So he wasn't really finding it funny, considering the fact that this is what he does for a living, right? He had to look for an option that would make it easier for him. And what did he do? He saved up this amount of money and paid and got their passport, which makes things easier for him, okay? And according to him, he also passes down to his wife and his children, so it's a good investment for him. And this is an option, guys. Trust me, people have been doing this. For these countries to have this option, it means that a lot of people have been doing it, but you don't know because you don't have the money. And somebody just did it, and some people were crucifying him. See, if you have the money and you want to buy citizenship, please do so, okay? Now, if you're given the option, if you had the opportunity of either buying citizenship outrightly with this huge amount of money or even more, depending on the country, right, or going the 5 to 7 years routes, working, living in that country, working, paying your tax, and just waiting out your 5 to 7 years before you can get their passports, which would you go for? Anyway, guys, you can go and watch the full video about how Tayo Aina got the citizenship. It's there on his channel, okay? Now, the third option that you have, which is going to be the final one we discussed in today's video, is citizenship by birth. There are some countries that have that option of you going to give birth in the country, and automatically the baby becomes a citizen of that country by birth. So many countries like that. Example is the US. You can go to the US and have your baby, and your baby automatically becomes a citizen of the US by birth, okay? There are so many countries that offer citizenship by birth. We can talk about that in another video. Let me know if you're interested, okay? So guys, this option is not cheap as well. If you've given birth in the US, can you let us know, or in another country, can you let us know the amount of money you spent? Or if you know somebody that has done that, just give us an idea of how much it costs to give birth in countries like that. But I know that you're going to spend more than that 20 million naira, you know, to give birth in the US. Your flight ticket alone is very expensive, and you also have to show proof of accommodation. If you don't have family and friends you're going to be staying with, you will have to pay for that and show proof as well. And then the medical bills alone, the cost of giving birth. Now, we're not talking about the cost of going there now, okay, which is part of it. Is expensive. If you're going alone, going with your spouse or mom or something, you have to spend money. Now, your medical bills as well, you have to put that into consideration. However you want to see it, any option you decide to go for comes with a cost, right? The person that is going by investment, that is buying it outrightly, it costs a lot of money, obviously, right? But the person who's going to be living in that country and working and paying taxes is also investing in that country and also giving his time. Is going to be giving like a few years of his life, and he's still going to get the same results, okay? The person buying it outrightly just bought it and got it, but it's going to take you some time to get it, but you're still going to get it anyway, and that is the cost you have to pay for it. You're still even going to pay an amount of money, even though it's not as much as buying it outrightly. And then the person giving birth in that country for the child to have a second passport. Now, it's just that child that's going to have the passport. It doesn't transfer to the parents or the siblings, it's just that child. So you should weigh all the options that you have. And for people who are always quick to criticize people with the options they make in their lives and all of that, I think you should also reconsider, because people make different choices for different reasons. Like I said earlier, different strokes for different folks, because people have the right to make choices that work for them and their families. And so long as you're not giving them the money, they're not asking you for the money, please learn to respect people's choices. Okay, now if you decide to stay back in your home country, you're comfortable with how much you're earning there, you're comfortable with your life there, that's fine. But for people who have decided to either relocate to go and study or work there and get citizenship of that country, or people who decide to buy it outrightly, try not to be too hard on them. Try not to criticize them, because they are not criticizing you, they're not being hard on you for staying back in your home country. Okay, everybody have the right to decide how they want to live their life, right? So yeah, that is it. These are the options that I know for now through which you can get a second passport. So it is up to you to decide on the one that you want. If you've gotten a second passport already, kindly let us know in the comment section the route that you took. Okay, so we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.